Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wondered if robots can actually talk to us without words? And more importantly, do we understand what they're trying to say? Well, this new study dives deep into how robots use lights and projections to communicate with us. And it turns out it's super important for them to be clear. So imagine working alongside a robot. It's doing its thing, but you need to know what it's going to do next, right? Especially if you're sharing a space. This paper looks at how robots use lights, like those colorful LEDs you see on electronics, or even projected images to tell us things. Things like, I am about to move this way, or I am stuck and need help. They wanted to see if these visual signals actually help us understand robots better, and how we even measure that understanding. As robots become more common in our workplaces, figuring out how to communicate with them effectively is a big deal for safety, getting things done, and even trusting these machines. Visual cues, like those LED lights we see everywhere or projections on the floor, are often used because they can grab our attention quickly, are easy to see from a distance, and work even when it's noisy. The researchers wanted to take a big look at all the studies on this topic. They focused on how lights and projections are designed, what kinds of robot actions they show, where these robots are used, and how scientists figured out if people understood the robot signals. Think of a scoping review like a treasure hunt for information. The scientists searched through tons of research papers, looking for studies that actually tested how people understood robot signals. They had specific rules, like the study had to have real people involved and measure how well they understood the robot. After sifting through thousands of papers, they ended up with 29 studies that had the right stuff. And here is the good news: across all the studies they looked at, having these visual cues from robots almost always helped people understand what the robot was doing or going to do. That's a pretty clear win for using lights and projections. They found that LED lights were often used to show more abstract things, like the robot's current status: is it working okay? Is it having an error? Or even its mood or affect, which means showing if it's happy or sad in a robotic way. When robots used LEDs for this, people felt like things were clearer, more comfortable, and easier to figure out. On the other hand, projections like arrows on the floor showing where a robot plans to go were better for showing more concrete information, like a robot's exact path. When robots used projections to show where they were going, people actually changed their own behavior better. They'd move out of the way sooner or keep a safer distance. This makes sense. You can see an arrow leading the way more clearly than just a blinking light, perhaps. So both lights and projections help people understand what the robot meant and change how they acted. That is great for safety and coordination. But interestingly, neither type of cue consistently made people work faster. While we understood the robot better, it didn't necessarily speed up how quickly we got our own tasks done. Now, here is a bit of a warning sign. The way scientists measured if people understood the robots wasn't always the same. A lot of studies used questionnaires that the researchers made up themselves, and these weren't always tested to see if they were truly accurate. Fewer studies used direct observations of what people actually did or how well they performed tasks. This makes it a bit tricky to compare different studies and be totally sure about the results. Overall, the conclusion is pretty clear. Visual cues from robots really do help people understand them better in work settings. But the researchers also say we need to get better at defining what understanding actually means in this context. They want scientists to use more objective measurements, like watching what people do, not just what they say they feel. And they really want these studies to happen in realistic work environments, not just labs, so the results are more useful. This whole area is called human-robot interaction, or AI for short, and figuring out clear visual communication is key to making robots good team members. Scroll introduction workplace dynamics are shifting due to expanding robotic adoption. Scroll, let's get into the why behind this. The world of work is changing fast because more and more robots are being used. Think about car factories, they've been using robots for a long time. But now, even in smaller companies, robots are showing up, and as long as humans are still playing a big role in figuring things out and doing the work, we need to make sure robots actually help us, not get in our way. Good communication between humans and robots means